So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my League 2 Team of the Season for the 2022-23 campaign. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 100 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are on the road 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know who makes your League 2 player, not player of the season, team of the season, sorry, and have I missed any players out? You know, there were some really difficult choices that I had to make here, some really good players who don't make my team. Let's waste no further time though and get straight into it. Starting out with the goalkeeper spot then, I have gone with Leyton Orient, Lawrence Vigouroux. Now, I'd have absolutely loved to have put Harry Lewis in there, but we've just seen so many mistakes. Well, not so many, but we've seen a few mistakes creep into Harry Lewis's game over the last couple of weeks and months, and I don't want to be biased. Vigouroux, in my opinion, has had a slightly better season than Harry Lewis. Now, don't get me wrong, Lewis has been unbelievable for 99.9% of the season, but then he's given a couple penalties away in the recent weeks before the season ended. Then that playoff semi-final second leg, he should have done better with the first goal and the third goal. On a big stage like that, you've got to perform, and unfortunately, Lewis didn't do that. When he's performed so well all season, you have to give it to the goalkeeper of the team who obviously won the league in the end. This season, Vigouroux saved 3 out of 6 penalties. He averaged only 2.2 saves per game, but that's still 75% save rate, which is a very impressive record in my opinion. Only conceded 33 goals in 45 appearances as well, which I think is very impressive. He made exactly 100 saves this season. Decent at playing out from the back as well, very composed, and obviously Orient have had an outstanding season under Richie Wellens. 29 years of age, still for Vigouroux, so there's still plenty of time for him to even get better really as a goalkeeper. But in my opinion, I think he, out of all the goalkeeper choices in League 2 this season, I think he has to be in the best and he has to go in my team. Right back was a bit of a difficult one for me. I've in the end gone with Kyle Noyle from Stockport County. Now obviously he spent the first half of the season with Doncaster Rovers, did well to be fair in a really poor Doncaster side. Got his move to Stockport County in the January transfer window, and I think that is where he has really kicked on. Can play at right mid as well as right back as well, or even as a right wing back if you need him to. He's played 50 matches this season for both the sides, scored 3 goals and chipped in with 7 assists, which I think for a fullback, 10 goal contributions is very impressive in my opinion. His defensive stats though are also pretty decent. 12 clean sheets, 0.8 interceptions per game, 1.2 tackles per game, 1 clearances per game as well. He averages a 49% successful dribble rate as well per 90, which I think is very impressive. Wins 61% of his ground duels. I think he's been very good this season. I could have maybe given it to Aaron McGowan at Northampton Town. In the end though, I've just decided to edge it with Kyle Noyle, someone who's gone a little bit under the radar for me this season, and at 26 years of age, still time for him to go on and develop into my 2 centre-backs then. Firstly, I've gone with Carlisle United's Morgan Feeney. Despite the fact he's only played started 29 matches this season for Carlisle, he's got 13 clean sheets, which I think is very good. Carlisle's defensive record this season has been pretty decent to be fair, only 43 goals conceded, which is in the top 5 for least goals conceded this season, and he's been a big part of that. When he's been fit and available, he's been absolutely outstanding, and only 24 years of age, there's still plenty of time for him to develop. He is currently out of a contract though with the football club in this upcoming summer. Obviously again, Carlisle are also in the playoff final. He was a big miss for them in the semi-finals, despite how good Huntington, Whelan, and I feel like I've completely forgotten who the other centre-back was. I've genuinely completely forgotten. Ben Barker, that's who it was, played there. Feeney in that side, I think they would have kept a clean sheet over both legs because he's been absolutely unreal. He's been a rock at the back for Carlisle. It's a shame that he has had his injury problems this season, but in my opinion, deserves a spot in there. Better than Piergiani, in my opinion. Piergiani does not feature in my team. And partnering Morgan Feeney, I have gone with Northampton Town's John Guthrie. Again, he's been unbelievable this season for the Cobblers. Played 41 out of the 46 matches. I think he actually ended the season missing a couple of the games due to injury. He scored 2 goals this season, but it's not just, you know, he's obviously a threat from set pieces. 15 clean sheets, 1.2 interceptions per game, 1.1 tackles per game, 4.6 clearances per game as well. He wins 68% of his ground duels and 68% of his aerial duels. That is absolutely outstanding for any centre-back. You know, averaging 7.3 total duels per 90 and winning 68% of them is absolutely unbelievable. Nearly averaged a 7 rating as well, according to SofaScore. He's been a big part of Northampton's success this season. Obviously, they did go on to achieve automatic promotion, and I think if it wasn't for John Guthrie, they would have obviously conceded a few more goals. And when he wasn't in the side, you did clearly see a bit of a weakness in there. But for me, he's been outstanding this season and deserves a spot in my League 2 Team of the Season for the 22-23 campaign. Over at left back then, I have gone with a man who's featured a fair few times on the channel over the last couple of weeks. I think he featured in my underrated 11, he featured in my one player from every League 2 club who they need to give a new contract to a player who is out of a contract in the summer. I have gone with Ibu Toure of Salford City. Out of the 48 matches that Salford have played in the league this season, obviously including the 2 playoff games, he's played 47 and started 46. He's been so influential to them this season, and 9 assists from left back. I think he's very impressive. 14 big chances created, 1.3 key passes per game, 81% passing accuracy, 13 clean sheets, 0.7 interceptions per game, 2.0 tackles per game, 2.2 clearances per game. This man is easily the best left back in the league, in my opinion. While there has been some other good honourable nominations, I think he's been absolutely outstanding, and I'll be really surprised if he's playing League 2 football next season. Obviously, Salford were knocked out of the playoff semi-finals by Stockport County on penalties, and I can't see a world in where this man is not in at least League 1 next season. I think he's absolutely brilliant. 28 years of age, surely now is the time for him to make that step up, and in my opinion, he's been comfortably the best left back or even left wing back in the league this season. Moving in then into my midfield, the easiest one for me is Owen Moxon. He has been absolutely unreal for Carlisle this season. Only 25 years of age, who knows what his ceiling can be, but I think he's been absolutely brilliant. I've had first-hand experience of him over the last couple of weeks, and every time he's on the ball delivering a set piece, you just get so nervous because every single time he's put a cross right on the money, right on a Carlisle player's head. And don't get me wrong, Carlisle are a big physical side, so it is a little bit easier than if you were crossing to a bunch of midgets. Obviously, you know, it's a bit of Michael Owen analyst there, but Owen Moxon has been absolutely outstanding for Carlisle this season. Played 47 matches in total, featured in the team of the week on 7 occasions, 6 goals and 16 assists, 22 goal contributions from central midfield. He's absolutely outstanding. Created 9 big chances, averages 2 key passes per game, defensively very good as well, 1.3 interceptions per game, 3.4 tackles per game, 1.3 clearances per game as well. He has had 1 error which has led to a goal, but a 61% successful dribble rate, wins 53% of his overall duels as well. I think he's been absolutely brilliant for Carlisle this season. If Carlisle are not a League 1 football club next season, I certainly think he'll be making that step up. If not in the League 1, I think he could even make the step up into a championship side. If he goes somewhere like a Rotherham, I think that would be a brilliant move for him. I really rate him very highly. He's a fantastic player, and I cannot see a world in where he is in League 2 next season. As much as I think he is a Carlisle lad, I don't think that he should be playing League 2 football next season. If Carlisle are not promoted, I think it probably would be, for his own career, really, the best time to move on. Next up then is another Salford City player. Former Bradford City player Elliot Watt makes my League 2 team of the season. Played 46 matches this season for the Emmys. No goals, but 16 assists from the centre of midfield. A lot of them will have probably been from set pieces and all that sort of stuff, but he's created 14 big chances, averages 2.7 key passes per game, has a 77% passing accuracy, 1.1 interceptions per game, 2.0 tackles per game, 1.0 clearances per game as well. He has committed 1 penalty offence, but he has a 60% dribble rate, wins 53% of his total duels as well, has accumulated 15 yellow cards, which is classic Elliot Watt, but he's been absolutely brilliant this season, and he deserves a spot in the team. 16 assists is certainly not something to be sniffed at from the centre of midfield. Regardless of whether a lot of them have been from set pieces, I still think he's been brilliant, and he's had an outstanding season for Salford. You know, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't really have had too much of a chance in the playoffs. That first goal that they scored, he puts a brilliant ball in for Matt Smith, and I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season and deserves a spot in my League 2 team of the season. And completing my midfield is Ipswich Town loanee Idris El Mazouni. He has been outstanding at Leyton Orient this season. At only 22 years of age, I certainly think this man can easily be playing League 1, if not Championship football next season. He's probably, if not been one of the best players in the league, not just central midfielders, I think he's been absolutely outstanding this season for the O's. Started 40 matches this season, chipped in with 3 goals and 2 assists, but it's not necessarily his stats, because his stats don't tell you how good of a player he has been. Only 1 big chance created and only 0.5 key passes per game, but he has an 84% passing accuracy, which I think for a central midfielder is absolutely brilliant in my opinion. His defensive stats are very good as well. 1.7 interceptions per game, 2.9 tackles per game, 1.2 dribbles passed per game, 1.3 clearances per game as well. He has a 69% successful dribble rate, wins 53% of his total duels. I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season for Leyton Orient. I would probably be pretty confident in saying if they didn't have him this season, I don't think they would have gone up as champions. I still think they would have been promoted, but I think he is that difference. He has been that cog in the midfield. While they've got a lot of really good players do Leyton Orient, I think they're more of a team rather than individuals, which is obviously better overall because you're not relying on one player, but I think he's been outstanding. in my opinion, their best player this season. And if Ipswich are in the Championship next season, which obviously they are, maybe he doesn't really get too much of a look in there because of the amount of quality they've got. I think later on they've got a good chance of getting him back next season, which is obviously a good benefit for them, and in my opinion, thoroughly deserves a spot in this League 2 team of the season. Moving in then into my front three, starting out with Northampton Town's Sam Hoskins. Now, I know a lot of Cobblers fans will probably be anticipating me not to put him in this side. While he did win that League 2 Player of the Year, according to the AFL, not in my opinion and not in a lot of people's opinions, but obviously I'll probably get a few bites from that in the comments down below. He has still had an outstanding season with the Cobblers. You know, he's been a big part of their success this season. Scored 22 goals and chipped in with 7 assists. Well, it's impressive. It's not quite 28 goals and 8 assists, but we'll still give him the credit for it. He still has had a very, very good season. Can play as a right winger or a left winger. Has even done a job at right back or right wing back at some points in this season as well. He is now 30 years of age, so he is getting on a little bit, but like what I say, he's been a big part of their success this season. Scored the goal in the end, which saw them be automatically promoted back into League 1, and I'll be interested to see how he does get on next season back in the big time in League 1. But like what I say, he's been brilliant this season, and I think it would be very wrong of me not to put him in this side. Speaking of Andy Cook, he is my striker, obviously the real League 2 Player of the Year. 28 goals and 8 assists this season. He's absolutely brilliant. He has a 22% goal conversion rate, which is one of the best in the league, I'm pretty sure. He averaged a goal every 127 minutes. Only Haaland has better in the whole of England. Well, certainly in the top 4 divisions anyway. I think he's been absolutely brilliant this season. It's not just his goal scoring, not just his assists. His overall play has developed so much more. And while he didn't really do too much in the playoffs, he didn't really have much support, did he? So I'm not going to give him any flack for that. He is out of a contract with the football club this season. I'll be interested to see if he is a Bradford City player next season. If he's not, I think we're in big trouble, to be honest with you. You know, he's been a big part of our success this season. Scored so many important goals. Unfortunately, in the end, none of them actually mean anything. A bit like Harry Kane, because we've not achieved the promotion, it, in the end, pretty much all means nothing, which is so disappointing for him and obviously us as fans as well. But this season, he's been absolutely brilliant. Created 11 big chances as well. The fact that man did not win League 2 Player of the Year, I still, to this day, think it's an absolute disgrace. And completing my team then over on the left wing, this is a pretty hard position, to be honest with you, because I like to play players in their natural position. And while this man is more of a striker, he did play on the left wing against my team, Bradford City. I've gone with Crewe Alexandra's Daniel Adji. Now, again, he's out of a contract with the football club in the summer. I really, really hope Bradford City go in for him this summer transfer window, because I think he's been brilliant this season. In such a poor Crewe side, to have 16 goals and 5 assists, I think is absolutely outstanding for a team that finished in the bottom half of the table. He's been brilliant this season for Crewe. A big part of why they've not really been in too much of a relegation battle. Scored a brace as well against my team, Bradford City, a couple of weeks ago, which pretty much killed any chances of automatic promotion for us, but he's been absolutely outstanding. He has a 55% successful dribble rate as well. Like what I say, he's naturally a striker, but he can play on the left wing if needed to. Could probably even do a job on the right wing, to be fair. But this season for Crewe, he's clearly been their best player. And like what I say, it was a bit hard, really, for me to pick someone to go out on that left-hand side. So while he might not naturally be a left winger, I think he's someone who's gone a little bit under the radar this season, a little bit underappreciated by a lot of League 2 fans. I know Mitch Pinnock got in there by the official EFL League 2 team of the season, but I don't think he's had as good of a season as what he did last year. I think Adji personally has had a better season in a much worse side than Mitch Pinnock, so that is why I've gone with Daniel Adji. And that completes my team then. In goal, I've got Lawrence Vigouroux of Leyton Orient. A right back, I've got Kyle Noyle of Doncaster Rovers and Stockport County. 2 centre backs, I've got Morgan Feeney of Carlisle United and John Guthrie of Northampton Town. Left back, I've got Ibu Toure of Salford City. In the midfield, we've got Owen Moxon of Carlisle United, Elliot Watt of Salford City, and Idris El Mazouni of Leyton Orient. And then my front three is Sam Hoskins of Northampton Town, Andy Cook of Bradford City, and Dan Adji of Crewe Alexandra. I'm going to leave it there though for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 100 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your League 2 team of the season, and do you agree with my League 2 team of the season? I'm sure there is some controversial picks in there, so let me know down in the comment section down below if you do disagree. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon for another one. Peace.